Alright guys, so today's behind the scenes video is inspired by Supriya from India. She has an interesting case, but actually it's not very unique. Plenty of archers have issue with what I call scapular control. Well, it's really shoulder girdle control, but with an emphasis on the scapular positioning throughout the shot process. So let's just define the problem. So as we go through our shot process, okay, stay nice and close to me, Ree, that's all right. Yep, so as we go through our shot process, we have a retraction of the drawing side scapula as we go into the loading position. So what it should look like is something like this. Raise, pre-draw, scapula down and back, almost like you're putting it in this back pocket, down and back in this direction. Okay, and then the scapula continues to squeeze around in this direction throughout the expansion and continues through the follow through, finally squeezing against the spine. Okay, this is actually quite an advanced technique. It requires a prerequisite level of motor control and mobility through the shoulder girdle, and that's why in the masterclass and with all my students I have a high emphasis early on shoulder girdle mobility, motor control and strength, because if you don't have that prerequisite level of control, you can't do this technique. Okay, now in Supriya's case and many others, what she's doing, she kind of got the motion, she understands the motion, but I'll demonstrate the difference. So I'll show you the first one will be correct again. So that it should look like raise pre-draw, scapula down and back, continuing around through to the follow through. In Supriya's case, what's happening is this. Raise pre-draw, scapula down and back, and then almost like it's shrugging up. As the elbow comes up into anchor, the upper traps are engaged and it's definitely retracting towards the spine in this way, but it's shrugging rather than maintaining a depressed scapula. Okay, so there's a couple of issues with this. The first one is it was less powerful. Okay, it's not really engaging the correct muscles for a powerful directional intentional expansion. The other issue is that there's variable. Okay, when it is locked down and it's continuing with that downward power and downward intent with the expansion, it's down. Okay, and when you keep pulling it down, it stays down. When it rides up a little bit, what happens when you get tired? You might have the strength to get through the clicker. Okay, you might even do some good shots that way. But as you get tired, are you going to pull it up more, less, or the same every time? And this is the principle of technique. It has to be consistent, right? And it's all very good to say that, oh, I'll just do the same thing every time. But good technique, by definition, is one that you can do the same every time. So it is very important that you have that scapular tracking down and back through the whole expansion. So I'll show you again. Correct is this. Down and back, stays down, continues retracting to the spine. Incorrect is down and back, and then shrugging up a little bit, and then continues retracting, but loses its set position at the bottom. So, a few things we have to do about this. First is understanding the movement. But what I've noticed with some other students, and Supriya, you'll have to test this out, is that it can be a coordination issue. So, do this with me. It looks a little funny, but we call it the chicken test, okay? So if you become a chicken, what we need to do is understand in our body how to control the shoulder girdle with the elbow height, because it is often as the elbow comes up to find anchor that the scap comes up as well, like this. So what we need to do is, first of all, shoulders up, elbows up, okay? Shoulders down and keep the elbows up. Okay, that's essentially what we're trying to achieve. Shoulder down, maintaining the elbow up, so it's not like this. Next, elbows down, keep the shoulders down and elbows up. Okay, so I'll go through that again. Do it with me on camera. It's going to be shoulders up, elbows up, shoulders down, elbows up, elbows down, shoulders down, elbows up. Did you pass, or did your shoulders come up as well? If you can't do that, you can't do this technique. So that's a coordination issue. The next issue is going to be a strength issue. Okay, that you don't have the strength to maintain that set position of the scapula through the shot process. So we already do in the masterclass, in the course, and that we do a lot of scapular control drills where we're focusing on that depression and retraction of the scapula and the kind of scapular rows, as well as the one arm presses, things like that to control the whole shoulder girdle movement, make it all symmetrical, strengthen it up. However, with this specific issue, what I like to do is to do a slightly modified version of the scapular rows, and I've set that up here, okay? So, we're gonna do an incline one arm row. So what that means is that you're gonna kneel down, okay? You set a band up nice and high, so the angle you're pulling is down, okay? So just go behind me and show my scapular movement. The scapula's down and back. It still stays down and back and retracted, and control through the eccentric range, like this. Okay. As always, do both sides. Don't just train one side and become lopsided like Quasimodo. You need to balance out your body. Yeah, doing that elevated or incline scapuro does help to train the depression of the scapula through that range of motion. One thing to look out for, I'll just mention this here, as always, is there's some common errors with scap retraction drills that we see. The first part, easy enough. The second part, what we often see is a losing of the scapula, like a rolling the shoulder forward, okay? It needs to be maintained in that down and set position. So again, correct is like this. Incorrect would be you're not just stretching the band for fun, we're here for scapular control. Okay guys, give that a crack, let me know how you go. Did you pass the chicken test? And can you maintain the scapula depressed?